Hey y'all, what's up Earpers? We're doing another exciting recap of episode 9, which is Bury Me With My Guns On. Episode 10, She Wouldn't Be Gone. And we have a special guest. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, guys? We missed you so much last week, and we are so happy to be back to the Wynonna Earp after show. Today we're talking about episode 9 and 10, and our special guest today will be Beau Smith. So stay tuned with that because we have a lot to talk about. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. I'm joined by my fantastic co-host.
Hey guys, my name is Amber Plaster. You guys can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Amber Plaster.
And we are live in the chat, so if you're watching this with us live, feel free to comment, let us know your thoughts, and no spoilers, please, because we are watching this fresh. And if you're watching this later, please comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on the episode. So we'll just jump right into it. So welcome, Beau. Oh my goodness, so happy to have you with us.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
So I'm thinking most Earpers know who you are, but for those who don't, why don't you introduce how you are connected to the Wynonna Earp universe?
Well, 20 years ago, I'm the one that created Wynonna Earp and have been creating and writing Wynonna Earp ever since 1996, and currently doing it with the IDW series and the new series, Wynonna Earp Legends, one I'm co-writing with Tim Rozon, and currently writing the next one, The Earp Sisters, with Melanie Scrofano, who is Wynonna Earp.
Woo! So
Amazing.
It's the comic books that you've been doing for so long. What gave you this idea in the first place?
The idea came when I was a kid in elementary school. I loved the Old West, and I loved Wyatt Earp and his brothers. But also, being a little boy, I loved monsters too. So I was constantly writing these stories about Wyatt Earp and his brothers hunting down werewolves and vampires and monsters in the Old West. And then 1996 came up, and I thought, well, I'll modernize this, bring it into today. And so I have a descendant of his, Wynonna Earp, and she hunts fugitives. They just happen to be paranormal fugitives.
Sweet.
I love it. I love the modern take that you put on it, and I'm really, truly don't consider myself a Western fan, but I love this show. And I love that there's bits of there's a little bit for everyone, right? There's the actual American history that you can go back to and kind of nerd out on about Doc Holliday and the OK Corral, and then there's the fantastic, there's the Revenants, and there's modern day, and there's women kicking butt this time. Everything about this series to me is so refreshing.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I just wanted to, the Old West part, that's kind of this fringe part of it, but that's what turns everything upside down. You've got strong female leads, you've got some really quirky, weird bad guys, which is kind of neat, and then you got the sister relationship and the camaraderie. Usually camaraderie in film and novels and stuff is that of guys. You know, camaraderie of the locker room and things like that. But this is one of the first series, I think, that really Emily Anders has done a wonderful job of showing the camaraderie of women, and
We don't get to see it a lot. We don't.
no, you don't. It's a whole new world that we're kind of hoping to expose everybody to, and you know, it's like you said a few minutes ago. It seriously is fresh.
Now, how involved were you with the inception of the television show and with as the show progressed? Like, how connected were you with the creation of it and just like, you know, as it went along?
Contract wise, they didn't have to do anything. All they had to do was send me money, which is nice. But
It's always nice.
They and IDW Entertainment have been more than generous. From day one, I saw every audition reel. I see the dailies every day,
Wow.
every script, every manual, everything. When Emily and I get together, she it's constantly, I'm picking her brain, she's picking mine. We're going back between comics, the television series, and basically just talking about Wynonna as a whole all the time. And so through osmosis or her just reading the comic books and our talks, I couldn't have been more connected. I seriously my wife Beth and I look at the cast and the crew as family, and we hope that it's the same way on the other end, and that's the way it has felt from day one.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of being part of the family, quite a few people in the chat have been referring to you as Papa Earp. What do you think of that?
I love that. In fact, just recently, one of the viewers / readers sent me, I'm a ball cap expert, and she sent me this wonderful, perfect ball cap, little star, and it says Papa Earp right on the front of it.
Aww.
I wear that everywhere because that's my open door. If I wear that out someplace and somebody says, what the hell does that mean? I get to tell them everything. I get to give them a full sales pitch on the TV show, the comic book, everything. And, it's hard to shut me up to begin with. So, that's a big door they open.
I think that's true for a lot of the fans about this show. I mean, I'm excited to tell people about the show. I'm like, do you guys have like more than 10 minutes? Because I really want to explain the show to you. It's exciting, it's refreshing, and it's not a simple show. It is a complex show that it's a world. It's an entire world that you have to explain. So I can only imagine. I mean, did you just like put in your writer that you must have the most kind, giving, welcoming fandom? Did you just tell Emily that was the rule?
This is, I've been writing comic books for 30 years now, and this is a total, I thought I'd seen everything, but this is a total different fan base now with comics and the viewership of the television show than I've ever had. I've never had such a core fandom, we'll call it that is so caring, so giving, and so nice and civil. Before, it's always been, it's kind of guys club where, you're ribbing each other. It's always one-upmanship. Everything's sarcastic, and that's fine and dandy. I can more than handle that. But this was seriously, it was like somebody farted and all of a sudden somebody opened up the window, let some fresh air in. And, I was welcome to breathe that in. I mean, I feel so blessed that all these people have accepted me into their lives. I created the thing, but it's Emily and the cast and crew that do the heavy lifting every week with the TV show. But I've been accepted into this world, and I couldn't be luckier. I really couldn't. And you think you've been doing this 30 years, to surprise somebody in any kind of business of the entertainment world, to surprise them after 30 years, that's an awful big deal.
Yeah. Agreed.
And then what is it like to see these, speaking of the actors, what is it like to see your characters in the flesh, essentially? And how are any of them so spot on that you're just blown away, or are some people maybe adjusted, but what are your thoughts on their adjustments?
Well, the first time that I saw the auditions, one of the lines that they had every actress, and there were over 200-300, say was they would take the badge and go, Wynonna Earp, U.S. Marshals. And I got, what's the cliche? I got goosebumps when I heard that every time. So that's at least 200-300 times I got that. But the first time I saw Melanie in the dailies, she nailed it. I mean, beyond anything. I'd always had Wynonna in the comics. She's smart, she's witty, she's sure of herself, but it was like Emily and Melanie got together and just created the perfect monster. And then that, in the best way. I was, to this day, I still get really weirded out by going, they're going to throw me out of this really neat party. At any point, they're going to find out it's me and go, you're out of here. It's just amazing what they do. It's still, every time I see it, I'm in awe. Every time they use, like with Bobo Del Rey, that's a character I created in the first series. That was Wynonna's first bad guy. I see that on, and I can't believe that's happened, because Bobo Del Rey was created simply in the fact that I wanted everyone to say my name twice. So that was it. And in season 2, there are going to be even more characters and things they're drawing from the comic, and I'm really, really excited about that. I can't say too much here because it'll give it away, and Emily will shoot me in the face. But there's some really neat stuff coming up in season 2.
Well, I was also going to say, speaking of the comics, you have a new comic that just came out,
Yep.
correct?
Yep, with Tim.
All right. Now,
Can you please explain where we can get a hold, like people in the United States and people in Canada can get a hold of this comic?
Basically in any direct market comic shop should be carrying it. So if there's a comic store, they should have it, and they should have no excuse for carrying it, because Diamond Distribution is the only comic book distributor. They have tons of it. They should be able to special order it if they don't have it in stock. So that shouldn't be any problem at all. There are lots of comic book subscription services like Westfield Comics and things like that that they can also get it from. So it should not be a problem to get. That or the trade paperbacks. The trade paperbacks should be easy to get even in bookstores, Barnes & Noble, and all the regular brick and mortars, as well as online with Amazon and stuff.
Great. Good to hear. Amazon as well.
I do have a question for you. Is after the show's been on and now you're making the new issues of comics, is the art style at all changed to reflect the actors in the television show?
We started out with Laura Ennis doing the basically the first probably 5 issues. I think Chris Evans had 1, but Laura and I go way back 15 years, and she was handpicked to do this because of her sensibility off her book of called The Dreamer, and she's an excellent storyteller. She's an amazing writer, but on this, we wanted her art style, but we wanted her storytelling as well, and she has her own unique style, and it added a lot of whimsical look to Wynonna Earp. And then when she wanted to go back and do her book, The Dreamer, because we said we could, she said we could have her probably 5-6 issues, and she was going to continue to do covers, but she wanted to go back and do her own because it's creator owned, so we knew that was coming. And Carlos Guzman, my editor, found Chris Evans, who is just amazing. Where Laura is whimsical, Chris is very realistic and prides himself on expressions, and in our case, making the characters look like they do on TV without having them look like they're photoshopped. So that's his own layer to it. And he has just done a mind-blowing job on this. We just got inks from the issue Melanie and I are doing today, and oh, gee whiz. He just continues to knock it out of the park every time he does something. And I will cry like a little baby when he decides he's going to go on and do his own creator thing. So, but nothing stays forever. So we should say.
I love that.
Aw. Did you have any other questions?
I actually I want to know, what do you wish, because we're almost towards the end of the season now. We just watched up to episode 10 of season 1. So we, just to refresh you all, it's kind of right where the witch gets buried in the salt and everything. So without giving us spoilers for the last 2 or 3 episodes of the season 1, what do you wish your fans knew about season 1 or the story of Wynonna Earp that they may not know? Anything that you wish the fans knew?
That's like, tell me a secret, but don't tell me a
secret.
Well,
I mean, if there's you're like, oh man, I forgot to mention this, or like, you may not know that Willa is part, I don't know what I was thinking. Just something if you thought of, as the creator, because you have deep backstory lines for these characters that maybe we don't really pick up on because there's simply not time on television. So I don't know.
Okay, I think I can mention this without giving anything away. But it was mentioned all through season 1. There's probably 3 things that are mentioned over and time again, but they're subtle and they're going to be huge at one point. And that is the necklace.
I knew the necklace was important for some reason.
We called that one.
It's around her neck.
Yep.
Emily and everyone, they made reference to the Banditos, the motorcycle gang that Wynonna used to ride with, and some of the things they did and she did when she was with them. And there's also been mention occasionally about something that Wynonna did in the past. and it's usually mentioned that it's something pretty terrible. So there are 3 things right there that you should pay attention to in the future. Let's put it that.
Love it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And then hopefully I did not give anything.
No, you didn't.
I think you're good.
Yeah, that was
We're up
good.
to date with that info, so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most people watching, thank you guys for being loyal fans who've already seen the show, but we're the new ones who are like, no spoilers, guys. We're so excited. We want to like keep it all fresh. Do you have anything you'd like to add, Beau?
Just that I hope everybody is looking forward to season 2 because it is going.
Yeah.
It's going to start off in a dead run. I mean, I'll just without giving anything away. When the last episode of season 1 ends, season 2 is going to pick up, and I mean in a sprint. So that's going to be pretty exciting within itself, and also to definitely give the comic books a chance because the comic book is a hybrid of what I did for the last 20 years with Wynonna Earp, but also what we're doing with the television show, so that viewers who have never read a comic book before, they pick up the comic book, they're going to go, oh, these are all the characters that I see every week and I like. Oh, and it's a little bit different. So it's a icing. You get the cake. Well, this is going to be the icing on it. So it's not going to be a repeat of what you already know.
Very cool.
All right. Looking forward to checking out the comic books.
Yeah, I also think that's great for people to wait until season 2 to have the comic books to tide them over.
Yes,
Until
exactly. It's
It
too
does
far
work out
away.
really well.
Well, we're helping tide them over, I hope, as well.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Well, from everyone in the chat, everyone who's watched this, and ourselves, thank you so much for speaking with us. It's been a pleasure picking your brain about the show.
I had a great time. Thank you guys for coming here to the house. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for letting us in. And if you want to stay watching, we're going to be talking about the rest of episode 9 and 10. But thank you again for chatting with us.
All right, y'all be good.
All right,
Oh,
thanks,
thank
Beau.
you.
Okay.
All right, guys. Now, hope you enjoyed that interview. It was lovely talking with Beau. And now we got to blaze through episode 9 and 10. But these were some really good episodes. This show is definitely getting so exciting. Any quick thoughts on episode 9 and 10 right away you want to say, Amber?
No. I guess my highlights of 9 and 10 were episode 9, hair porn.
Yes, we started with that one, and you guys told us. Yes, hair porn.
You guys warned us that there would be some really beautiful hair work.
Yes.
And it came. It was great.
Oh, it came, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of coming, I regretted it as soon as I said it.
Woo.
Henry.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And we have our Doc Holliday get down, and we have our Way Hot get down, too, in between those 2 episodes.
I enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, yeah, the Way
yes.
Hot get down. Way Hot gets together.
Yes. Guys, when we were watching this, so we're watching together. Way Hot starts, both of us lean in, and we're like, what? I mean, we kind of knew it was coming, but...
No, I did not know that was coming because she walks in there, she was
Well,
like...
you didn't know that soon.
I didn't know that soon.
Okay, yeah.
And I was very
There's enough
impressed.
gifs on Twitter that I was like, okay, I know they're going to be doing something. But we didn't know it was like, oh, now. Oh, okay, now. Yes.
We got Doc Holliday and Wynonna. We
Yes.
got Way Hot together, and we got hair porn. The beginning of episode 9 was real good for all happy things all around.
If you guys weren't satisfied yet, you should be now.
It was real
Right?
cute. I also enjoyed the conversation with Way Hot where they're she's at the very before they get down where she's talking
Yes.
about why won't you tell me what's going on, and she's like, I like you, and it's like it's a dual conversation.
Yes.
It was so well done. If you guys need an excuse to rewatch episode 9, please go back and watch the beginning of episode 9 and watch Way Hot, Waverly, and Officer Hot talk before they make out because it is so good.
Yes. And it's even the conversation on the street or when they're in the room. Both.
On the street.
Yeah. On the street, because they're completely 2 different conversations. It's done so well because they are complete conversations, but we, the viewer, know that they're talking about 2 different things, but the characters are like, what? No, we're talking about the same thing, aren't we?
As
Yes.
an actor, that scene is such a treat to watch because
yes.
it's so well written and it is not an easy dialogue to pull off. It was
Yes.
beautifully executed.
Yeah. And then we kind of wondered this, and it did touch upon that Wynonna doesn't feel that different after the 7 are gone. But good point that Doc points out that once you release all that rage, there's kind of nothing left, which is a good point. And I think she's had this like flight or fight mode for so long that now that it's over, she doesn't quite know what to do. I
thought that was really well done because we
Yes.
actually see her have signs of almost PTSD.
Yes.
Which makes sense.
She's freaking out. Yep. And then we have, we're loving the see-through outfits on Wynonna. The see-through tops, like the mesh or the sweater thing. Looking good.
We start to see a more confident Wynonna.
Those leather pants. Those are very nice, too.
I liked it.
Yes. We talked about this last time where we were very kind of confused and felt the FBI stuff was a bit out of place. So we finally have brought the FBI into Wynonna's kind of timeline because she hasn't really been interacting with it much. It's mainly been Doc. I mean, not Doc, sorry, Dolls. So it's kind of nice to have Wynonna do something with the FBI people or the government, quote unquote, because that felt so out of place. And even now it still feels a little weird, but she has that analyst thing and clearly she's has some issues, understandably so though.
Understandably.
Yes. And then we have the people trying to buy the bar, which we learn out later is Bobo, which that was very smart on Bobo's part. Very smart.
Very smart.
Sneaky as I'll get out, but smart.
I was a little alarmed that we didn't really see either sister catch their Aunt Gus up to anything up until it was sold. I was like, really? Was he that good? I guess he would have to be, though, because he's been thinking about probably doing this for years.
Well, he's probably just was nowhere near it, and then somebody else was doing it. So it must have been the very, very small print.
Oh.
That's my guess, because he had the guy there, and Wynonna was like, oh, you're a Revenant. And I looked up the actual definition of Revenant, so I should be saying Revenant, not demon, because it's just someone who's come back.
Oh, I like that.
Just so you guys know. I was like, what's the actual definition of Revenant? So it's pretty much just someone who's come back, because they're not all necessarily, like, demons per se. They're just people who've come back, and they're demonic-ish. Because they're not just normal people. We'll all agree on that. The witch, her son... yeah, the witch and her son thing, that just kind of sucked. Then I'm like, here, we'll just get her timeline all done of, yeah, her son, that sucks, try to bring him back, and I can only pick one of you, because I only have 99-ish% of one of you, so I'll make one. Oh, wait, it doesn't come out quite right.
I guess I didn't get the urgency. I didn't understand the urgency of the witches trying to make two of her sons. Okay, I'll only make one. I
think she's just been waiting too long. She just was done waiting.
Was it like a full moon or something? Why did she?
Yeah.
I don't really understand why. I was like, you've been waiting a long time. Why not just wait a few more years? Like, what's the point?
Yeah, that one was a little weird. I was like, okay.
We were just like, okay, moving on.
And then her poor child dies and is burned because they burn the bones. And then since we figured it was the one bone is still in the other body, that's why he burned up too. That's my guess.
I'm also curious, like, if she's a witch and she has a magical son that has come back, what does that make him? A revenant, technically?
That's true. What is he? We don't know. He's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
And then she gets buried in the salt fields, which was awesome. But we kind of asked the question, and Amber's like, wait, is that really that isolated? Because Wynonna found it, so... And I agree. It's like, do you really think that?
Yeah. I don't know. I think she's going to come back because she's not dead. I don't know.
She's not dead. Somebody will find her.
Yeah, and she'll be pissed.
Yes.
She'll come back and she'll be pissed.
I do like that the ribbon thing that the blacksmith gave Doc was finally in use, and it actually kind of looked like a barbed wire, which I liked.
Well,
it changed texture once it went on.
Yeah, it's a yellow velvety rope, and as soon as you put it on, it turned into like this metal. And I was like, I appreciate that. Okay, good job, Sean.
That was very cool. Yeah, someone said the other skull. Oh, yeah, because the skull was smashed to bits. That's true. That's a good point.
Oh, good point.
But she could have collected all those pieces, yes? That's the other thing. She didn't even try to collect them. I mean, all the other body parts are in pieces, too. So what makes the difference that the skull's in pieces? She's really that special and magical and amazing, but apparently she's not.
Well, the other bones were not broken.
That's true.
They were just simply not connected by tissue.
True. Or at least to our knowledge.
If we're getting into it.
No, I think that's a good reason that like they're all there, they're just not in pieces. So she's not that good of a magic lady. Okay. So yes, back to Doc and Wynonna. She needs to blow off some steam, and I was like, no, this is like, let's make some steam. And we were watching it, and I was like, okay, I want them to kiss. I want them to kiss. They did. I was like, yes!
Yeah.
I cheered.
We both were like,
do you guys cheer?
We cheer. We wish they'd. Oh.
Yes. We're like, yeah.
Oh.
And Doc. I love that you guys are quoting it in the chat room right now of like, oh, my vast wisdom is a burden by Doc, yes. And then there are natural forces at work here. Yes. Oh, it was so good. I like it because you're watching it, and there's that moment when you're watching a really good show, and you want something to happen, and then it does.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just get that, like, satisfaction of, like, oh, I want this to happen, please, 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 please. And you're like, oh, it actually does. Because so many shows, you're like, please, and then, nope, just kidding. All right, fine. So
this episode was real good for us, you guys. Episode 9 was real good.
Can't help but make naughty jokes at all this because it's just too fun. We have Officer Hot and the sheriff guy, and there's a report, and we had kind of wondered before if something was up with him, and he does mention that he had guessed that something's going on in the town, so it's kind of nice to get verification on that, because I was wondering where he was. Because we've talked about this before, of like, if you're in this town, you notice something's going on. Something.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And poor Nicole Hot of like, I'm not going crazy, am I? I'm not going crazy. And then the unicorn line. We all love that. People quote that one in the chat room too.
Yeah.
So that was great. Okay, so guys, we were a little bit confused on this. Please leave comments down below, because I think in the chat, if you explain this, will be a little too much for us to read. But with the witch and the Bobo standoff at the bridge, it was a little bit rushed, that we weren't quite sure what the full arrangements of the deal were, and it kind of came out of nowhere. Yes, we were both like,
both of us were like,
strange.
We need to rewatch this episode because we feel like we're missing a lot of information, and and we're not sure that we care. We're like, maybe if we just like watch it longer, it will reveal itself to us. And then we were like, I still don't really understand what happened at the bridge. So like, for example, why did the witch's son get out of the trunk? Why were they holding her off at the bridge? Like,
they don't want her to leave.
Just like, there's just things where like we didn't understand why it was happening.
Well, their agreement, we didn't understand enough of it.
Yeah.
Like what she was going to give Bobo and all that. So it was a little bit like...
And why she shot his people.
Yeah, that was weird. When she shot up his guys, that was very
strange. When she shot up his guys, it seemed very specifically unmotivated to me.
And it was weird for her to shoot them. Being a witch, you're like, and you shot them?
Yeah, why not do some powers?
Do some magic. I mean, I know it gives her... It's some of her energy and all, but it felt weird. Then we have the...
Oh, they said if we tell you, it'll be a spoiler.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, good.
That's good. That's fine. Absolutely fine. I'm happy with that, because it's one of those things of like, maybe then we are supposed to be confused.
Maybe it will be revealed to us.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Then
great.
They're like, keep watching. Thank you, chat room. In my notes, I love the so the scene is with Bobo and the witch on the bridge standoff, and then the match on action to the sex scene with Wynonna and Doc. Love that. So if you guys, that is a film term. It's called a match on action, where it's pretty much like, I guess it kind of was a match on action, where it was where if something like Snatch is an excellent example of that. Like if something happens in one scene and then it continues into the next, or a similar thing. So that's called a match on action. But I loved it because it was like one thing there and then it was them. And then, damn, her underwear looked really cute. We talked about that.
We were talking about her outfit and like how
it reflects character.
It does reflect character, and we were like, I don't like that red push-up bra, and then she wore this like super cute little like maroon bralette, and we we're like, we like that better. Underwear matters. I mean, I don't know for men maybe if it matters, but like if you're a girl and you have matching black panties and underwear, like you feel confident that day. I don't know if it has the same effect on men, but like we feel great when our underwear matches or like is specifically cute.
Well, I'm thinking for a guy, like watching a man on screen between wearing boxer briefs, or even the called tighty whities, but they're not necessarily tighty whities. They're not necessarily white, but that reflects also their type as well.
True.
That you know, what kind of guy it is. So we liked her undergarments. That's what it was. We were like, I like that we're talking about undergarments.
Specifically in episode 9, she talks about don't cock block my confidence today. Like, don't even try. And like her clothes reflected that.
Yes.
And the wardrobe on the show was just next level.
Some of the chat room said when men are not confident. Oh, well, you know, it depends on what kind of underwear. I think, you know, because it's also, okay, let's be a little more anatomy specific. Ladies' underwear holds different parts differently versus men's parts of holding things. So I think it's also comfortability. Being comfortable. Yeah. And function of showing something off as well. Let's be honest. Because ladies wearing certain kind of bra, trying to show off the boobs. Guys wearing certain kind of underwear could probably just show off their package as well. So
yeah,
it could be a different thing.
The more you know.
Yes. Thank you. I was like, what is that? Oh, yes. All right, let's wrap this one up. Yes, we finally have Waverly and Nicole hook up finally, which we were like, oh my goodness. And I also like their conversation on the couch too, because it was very real and honest of like, you scare me, and it's like, I scare you, and they're like, it's good for people to talk it out, because it's like, wait, we are not on the same page. And they need to be, because Waverly is kind of new to this and needs, you know, to express her feelings. And it was nice that she did that.
And then she was like, you should stop talking. And she was like,
make me.
And I was like, oh,
yeah.
okay.
We're like, oh, okay.
Girl,
Yeah,
okay.
keep going.
Listen.
Oh, we totally were leaning in. I bet you guys were too. You're like, yes, what? Mm-hmm. And then Bobo bought shorties. Was like, what? So that's episode 9. So we'll blaze through 10 real quick.
Okay. We have to go back to episode 9 when she talks about the pink and the blue. We find that.
I think that's in 10.
In 10?
Yeah.
Continue on.
I was like,
I want to talk about the pink and the blue.
Yes, we'll talk about that. So we have Shorty's kind of has been stolen, and the Willa's necklace thing was kind of like, oh, that sucks. But they planted surveillance, so that was really kind of cool. I actually thought the necklace might have been the surveillance, but we learned it's like a little knob thing on the back of the boot. So that was cool. And we see this strange like girl and the wolf thing, and we learn about Lou, and then Bobo is not happy about Lou, and we learn he's some big baddie that Bobo, which I'm like,
the one that got away.
Yes.
From Bobo.
We need to pit them against each other, and maybe they'll destroy each other, which I've seen that. That's like the concept. Guys, if you don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but there's a movie where it's The Ring and The Grudge, and the two girls are like, hey, let's have our demons fight each other to get rid of them. That movie really exists.
Amazing.
I'm excited about that. But, sorry. Oh, Jim, the demon Revenant who's been captured, and he's like, oh, I didn't tell the Black Badge anything, and Bobo's like, but you will. So I think Bobo wants to feed some incorrect information to the Black Badge.
Also very mean of Bobo to not help his friend out. And just get him out.
He's like, no, you gotta
definitely
hang
have
out
the
here.
ability to like let him free.
Yes.
Rude. Rude.
Yes. Because then we also see Wynonna gets to find dolls doing the torturing because she didn't know about that. Now she knows.
I love that when she walks up and she's like, listen,
Car
I'm
alarm.
here. And she kicks the car and she's like, oh, hi.
What's up? Oh, and handcuffs him to the car. That was great too.
So badass.
And then
and when she handcuffs him to the car, we feel, Kari and I feel, was the first moment of legitimate connection between the two characters,
I'm like,
Dolls
they're
and
getting
Wynonna.
Real close there.
I was like, whoa, I actually believe they're attracted to each other for the first time.
To get him locked up.
I think she was just flirting to get him locked up, but I believed it this time.
Yes.
Whereas before it was just
better.
kind of like, what's happening?
Yeah, it was so awkward. Yeah. This one, I was more like they're standing really close together.
You still were not having it.
Yes. We're getting to it. So now we have Wynonna and Doc, and I wrote, he is so suave. Now we can talk about pink and blue.
I could talk about Doc forever, but I do appreciate the detail that first of all we get the pink Cadillac back, and of course Doc has this really Doc Holliday, the actor Tim, can land a compliment on a woman better than anything I've ever seen.
Yes.
So he catches the keys and he goes, he says something like, you'd be the only woman to actually woo a man with a pink Cadillac or a car or something like that.
Yeah, he said like
with another woman's car.
Yes, he said something like you're the only woman who's ballsy enough or something like that to be like to woo a man with another woman's car. And you're like,
and she's like, well, we can change the color, and he's like, no, it's a strong color. And I was like, oh, because he's from the past.
Pink was cool back then for dudes.
I think it was right around the Holocaust that they changed the colors for
They swapped?
They swapped because they were trying to identify people in concentration camps and gay people and putting them in pink so that they would be shipped off. And then that's when like
okay, that's a much sadder.
No, it is, but that's when
really
suddenly that's when pink became feminine and unworthy and unwanted. Whereas blue was previously, like baby blue was worn by female babies
girls.
Up until that point.
Interesting.
So I was like, oh, I forgot about that. It was such a like cool detail to put back in the show.
Oh, super cool. Well, I'm thinking back to like I've watched and done Victorian stuff, and flamboyant colors are all totally cool in a lot of that. Yeah, bright colors.
Men wore purple and pink and yep.
I like in the chat room, thank you, Doc Sash. Doc can pull off any type of underwear, which, do we get underwear scenes? Okay, you can spoil that for me and let me know. I doubt it, but that'd be nice. And then, Doc is awesome. We totally agree with that. And it's every time, well, the other thing is with his compliments, you believe them. It's not fake. It's not, like disingenuine. You just go.
Because he also yells at her when he's pissed. He's like,
that was weird. That was a little weird.
Well, she's rejected him, and so now he's pissed off, and he's like, I'm not going to protect you if you don't like me back.
This is true. Then we have the weird Iska. I wrote it down as Iska. I think that's how you say his name. The guy in the woods. We're like, weird stuff is going on. And the cult, which we learn later, is Lou. I'm like, where's my other notes? Lou. And we meet Eve, which was very interesting, who we later learn, which we guess, and Gus has proved that it's Willa. Semi-question mark.
Yeah.
Hold that thought, and we'll finish some other stuff and then get there. So we also have Dolls with the eye thing is back again momentarily. I mean, that's just a quick thing. And another random thing is that edit for like the zoom, like zoom on the gun was super funny because the show hasn't done anything like that yet. But it felt very perfect for that moment to showcase where the gun is, which we were like, didn't she drop it on the ground and it's only in a tree?
Yeah.
But it was still cool because it was a fun edit.
Was confused why the gun was from the ground to the tree, but okay.
That's okay. And then another random thing with Doc, we had Doc trying to drive, which was super funny, and gets a ticket from Nicole Hott. And he's trying to leave, and Waverly's like, nah, don't leave. And she's like, but Wynonna likes you. And he goes, no. And it mentions her relationship with, or her budding relationship with Officer Hott. And he goes, well, the difference is she adores you back. And you're just like, poor Doc. I wrote, aw. Yeah. Because we wondered before, even with their first with the motorcycle bit, I believed him then. I believed that he really likes her. Deeply.
I missed that, I guess. I wasn't as convinced that he deeply was
like he actually cared about her.
Yeah.
He didn't want to just hook up. She's not just a booty call for him.
Well, I thought that he liked her as a person and also wanted to have sex with her. I didn't know he was like falling for her level of attention.
I think he's been falling for her for a while.
Okay. That went over
guys,
my head.
Fun comments for down below. When do you think Doc started falling for Wynonna? Leave that as a comment down below. I think it's definitely been for a little while.
Okay.
I had an acting class, and one of the things was most love stories is you instantly fall in love, and the movie is you denying it. So he instantly fell in love with her, and the whole time he's been denying it, and now that's been chipping away.
Oh.
Right?
That seems more accurate for him, yeah.
Because he's been like, nope. Okay,
well, if
fine.
that's the case, then I think Wynonna is instantly fell in love with Dolls and is denying it.
No.
Well, I don't want that to happen.
I don't want that to be it either.
I think that's where they're going with this.
We'll see. And then we got Eve I like that Eve was trying to fight back, which proves more how Earpy she is. And then yay for Dolls and Wynonna coming back of like, we're gonna help you and rescue. And Dolls is like, I found it because I pinged this spot. He's like, how'd you find it? And I'm like, that's actually a really smart idea. I'd be like, boop, that's where we are.
Yep.
And then we go, WTF, Eve can use the gun. And it's like, when she was at the police station, we're watching it, and I'm like, she's the sister. And Amber's like, what? Oh.
I was just like, she's human. She can just use the gun to shoot him. And then the fire appeared, and I was like, what?
Girl, wait, exclamation point, question mark?
Is she some other family? Like, it did not come up. It did not come up on me quickly. Like, I was like, what? Huh? What? Huh? Like, like a good 7 minutes.
It's denial. You're like, what?
I thought she was dead, yo. Oh my goodness.
Like, no. I actually kind of like that theory. I don't recall what my final, because we talked about was she still alive or not. I
thought maybe she would be older or evil. I guess we should talk about the fact how my problem with this character.
Okay, so Amber was making a really good point, which I'm like, okay, fair enough. She felt the actress didn't quite look older than Wynonna, that it was weird to believe that she's Willa. However, I was like, she has a round face. She has a baby face. It's going to make her look younger. And potentially she's been living in a different environment / other area. Might have aged differently.
If I will believe that she is Willa if for some reason magic made her stay the same age. Because she's actively, like, she looks like she's 20 years old, and if Wynonna Earp just turned 27, then she has to be at least 30-ish, 31.
But she's probably not drinking or smoking or doing those bad things.
She looks way too young.
She eats all organic.
And also, she doesn't look anything like the Earp sisters. They look completely unrelated.
That is something they look a little different. But then again, there are some families that, really one sibling looks very different.
I know, but like...
You're like, ah!
She looks nothing like Willa to me. Like, I would have not picked her out of a lineup. And which I guess maybe is cute why Wynonna didn't get it at first either.
But then Gus, it was interesting that Gus instantly was like, whoa. So I kind of wonder if she looks maybe more like their mother or something, and Wynonna looks maybe more like their father, and then Waverly is like a grandparent. Which there are families like that, where it's like, you know, somebody always kind of looks like a little bit like different or something like that. So,
yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, I would like, we know whenever Wynonna Earp does this to us, it usually answers it the next episode, so I'm excited to see what they're going to say about her looking a little different.
Yes.
So
they might have something for sure. Another thing, just to let you guys know, so next week we'll be doing, today was 9 and 10. Next week will be 11 and 12. And then the following week we'll do the finale with 13. And then we'll be back when season 2 comes back. But just giving you we were looking at the schedule way ahead of time. Any other thoughts on these 2 episodes?
I thought it was
really
really
shower.
No, I don't. It was good for me, girl. I'm enjoying
Me too.
it.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Eve, we'll call her, didn't ever say that her name was Willa because she somehow knew that she was with a bad guy. And so I'm very interested to see what her story was, because remember, that guy she was with didn't know that she was an heir, because he was like, an heir! And Eve was like, huh? So like, was she brainwashed?
They mentioned, I forget who was talking, but somebody mentioned amnesia. That word was dropped in the episode.
Oh, okay.
I think when they're at the police station.
Sure, I'm sure she's been messed with, but...
I mean, it's very television convenient as well.
But it would be cool if she made a choice to be like, sure, my name is Caitlin.
But
my
if
name is
also
Eve.
if she was like, do we remember how old Wynonna was when that all went down?
Wynonna was under the age of 10.
Under 10? Okay, and then what? She was like 13?
Like 8 or something?
Willa was like 13?
Yeah, but if I was 8, you know what? I wouldn't remember what my sibling looked like if I was 8.
And it's from child to adult? That's the other thing,
Yeah.
too. There's some people, okay, like my brother looks totally like his, like I could show you an infant photo and look exactly the same. But like...
My brothers don't. They look
my
different.
photos, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's like, maybe not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, you're back for season 2. Oh yeah, that's the other thing, guys. So season 1, we did do this a little bit differently of airing these after it aired, because it just didn't work out that it aired before. But yes, for season 2, we will be with and current as season 2 happens. So we're ready for that one ahead of time. And then, thank you for someone in the chat room commenting on braids. No, see, yesterday I had my Legather braids for Vikings. Today I have my Waverly braids.
Can you put a picture on your Instagram of what your braids look like?
I will.
Because they look real cool for you
thank
guys
you.
today. Like, they
I'll
look
put them
really
on
good.
Twitter and Instagram, guys.
She's doing some Waverly braids.
Yay. I think that kind of wraps us up on any other things.
I think so.
That's it. What other shows are you on, or any of the programs people should follow you? Where do they find you online?
Yeah,
and cyberstalk you.
I'll tell you all the things.
Okay, the things. Tell me all the things.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name is Amber Plaster. You guys can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Amber Plaster. I also have a live gaming show on my YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/AmberPlaster22. We're playing through Rise of the Tomb Raider right now if you want to watch other kick-ass women. I'm also on another panel on AfterBuzz TV on Tuesday nights covering NBC's This Is Us. What about you, Kari?
How is that show?
It's so well written.
Okay, good.
It's so well done.
It's one of those I saw the trailer and I was like,
It's the same writer as Fox's Pitch, which is another
okay.
feminist light of hope and wonderfulness in the universe.
yes. Oh, good to know. So guys, I'm a little crazy because I'm on 8 shows now after AfterBuzz.
Dang, girl.
So Sundays you can catch me on Van Helsing. We're towards the end of that series. Westworlds, we're doing the finale this coming up Sunday. Monday night is Timeless, and then Box Office Breakdown, which we talked about what came out over the weekend. Then not Tuesday, Wednesdays I have, I'm like, wait, nope. Hold on, mental break. Well, Thursdays is Wynonna Earp and Salem. Oh, Wednesdays is Vikings and Incorporated. So I do a lot of sci-fi and random and cool stuff. And you can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's Karidlane. Please give us a thumbs up, comments down below. We love to hear your thoughts on the episode and our breakdown, as well as 5 stars on iTunes. Leave comments there as well. It's always great. And be sure to subscribe to AfterBuzz because there's so much good content and shows like awesome people like us covering these great shows that you guys know and love. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AFTERBUZZTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AFTERBUZZ TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.